This is Gemara Baba Basra, Daf Samoch Zayin, and once again, we like to dedicate today's learning as an incredible schos, Aliyas Nishama for Yehuda ben Daniel Ben-ציון. B'siyat Shemaya, the learning of the entire Chabura should bring Yehuda ben Daniel Ben-ציון to higher and higher place in Gan Eden Shel Maila. We're holding on Samach Zayin Amid Aleph as we begin a new Mishnah. Teaches the Mishnah directly segueing from the previous Mishnayos, which dealt with the sale of houses. Now we deal with the sale of a chatzar. Ha'moicher es a chatzar. So what is included? Says the Mishnah, Machar batim bayrais shichanu marais. If you sell a chatzir, the houses, the pits, the cisterns, the vaults, all the different water avenues are included in the sale. Aval, however, lo yesa metaltalin. The movable items are not included in the sale. But if he says that critical clause, selling you it and everything that is inside of it, then hare kulan mechurin, they're all sold. Benkach, what concludes the Mishnah, in any case, whether he added the clause of a kol ma'aseh or not, lo yimachar, is not sold, lo yisamerchatz, the bathhouse, v'lo yisbis habad, nor the olive press shebeteicha that is within the chatzir. Rav Elazar Omer, ha'moicher es chatzir, lo yimachar elo avira shel chatzir. Says Rav Elazar, when one sells the chatzir stam, the only thing that is sold is the avira, the airspace of the chatzir. Says the Gemara, Tanu Rabbanan, ha'moicher es chatzir machar batim achitzoinim. Someone sells a chatzir. Says the Brisa, the outer houses are sold. Ubatim ha'panimiyim, the inner houses. Ubate ubayis ha'chutzais, and the sand fields are all sold. Chanuyos besuchais l'teicha, stores that open into this chatzir. Nimkarais ima are as well sold with it. Whereas the stores she'ein batuach b'seicha, b'tuchais l'seicha, stores which are not open into the field, ein nimkarais ima. B'tuach b'suchais lekan ulekan, if it's open to both, elu ve'elu, nimkarais ima, they are sold with it. So the Brisa adds on an additional case to the Mishnah, which are stores. Says the Brisa, depends where they're opened up into. Rav Elazar Omer, ha'moicher es chatzir lo yimacher ela milusa shel chatzir, the open spaces of the chatzir. So very similar to the Rav Eliezer of the Mishnah. Amar Mar, says the Gemara, what do we just see in the Brisa? That if the field, if the store, is open to both, it's yes sold with it. Ask the Gemara about Tani Rav Chia, Einim Karzima, that if it's open both to the chatzir or not, it's not sold with it. Answers the Gemara, Loi Kasha. Ha deroiv tashmishtayu legoi, ha deroiv tashmishtayu lebar. Says the Gemara, it depends where is the main usage of the store. When we say it's sold with the courtyard is when Roiv Tashmishtayu is ligoi, is into the courtyard. When it says it's not sold is when Roiv Tashmishtayu is levar, the majority of the usage is outside of the courtyard. We continue by quoting the last case of the Mishnah, which is Shitas Rav Elazar Omer, ha'moicher es chatzir lo yimachar ela avira shel chatzir, only the airspace is sold. Amar Rabba Idamar le dirasa, says the Gemara, Idamar le dirasa, if the seller said, I'm selling you this dirsa, everyone agrees that what does the word mean when he says, I'm selling you this dirsa, means I'm selling you the bottom, I'm selling you the houses, and even Rabbi Eliezer would be masking their sold. Keep ligi. What's the machlekes? Tamla darta. The machlekes is in a scenario where he said, "I'm selling you this darta." Mar Sava Rav Eliezer holds tarbita mashma. What does word darta imply? A garden, just open out places. Umar Sava Tanikama holds bati mashma. That's where they are sold. The first way of learning the machlekes Rav Eliezer and the Chachamim is when he said the word darta. Ika diamri, a second lashain, Amar Rabba. On the flip, as all the Sheinei are, Idam relate darta, then the Kliyam relate pligi. That yes, the bati mashma. Keep pligi, what's the machlekes? Dam relate chotzer. Mar savar, chotzer avirasa mashma. Rav Eliezer holds, so what does the word chotzer mean? Means that avira. Mar savar ki chotzer ha-mishkan, whereas the Tanigama holds, means like the chutzner of the Mishkan, which includes everything inside of it. Says the Gemara, so two different ways of learning the machlekes, Rav Eliezer and the Chachamim. We continue 5 lines from the bottom of the Amar, Rabba Amar Rav Nachman, a new memra. Machar loi chultzis umesulam. If someone sold a chultzis, a sand bed, umesulam, a riverbed, he sold both of them to someone else. If you performed the chazaka on the sand field, he does not acquire the riverbed. Whereas on the flip side says the Gemara, if you made a chazaka on the riverbed, like kana chultzis. So both cases, not on the flip side, chazaka on one does not act as an acquisition on the other. Asks the Gemara, Eini, 1 second, Amar Shmuel, Machle Eser Sadeh, Eser Medina, Kiv Shechsek Bachaz Mehen, Kana Kulan. Says Gemara, 1 second, Memra of Shmuel, that Shmuel has taught us that if you make chazak on one, you're kind on everything, a Gemara in Kedushin. So why over here is it not true? Answers the Gemara, Hasamu Desadna Da'ara Chadu. Over there, what was the svara of Shmuel? That the entire earth is considered one piece of land. The kula chadadash mishta, who they all have one usage. But in our case, when you have a sand field, you have a riverbed. There are 2 different dashmishtim. Each one has its own unique function. Of course, it's a little bit difficult for us because we don't really understand the functions of riverbeds and the functions of sand fields. But says the Gemara, there are 2 different functions, and therefore they will not act in the acquisition one of the other. Vika Diamri continues the Gemara as we turn over to Samach Zayin Amud Beis, another lashain to learn the previous machlekes. Says the Gemara, Amar Rabba teaches Rabba Amar Rav Nachman. We're on the top line of Samach Zayin Amud Beis. Hechsek bechult says you're yes kana mesula. Says the Gemara Pshita. So the court this lashon it's pasha. Why? Because Damar Shmuel Machles is so this v'chulu that you're kind of one, you're kind of all of them. Answers the Gemara, no. The maskana before is avamina now. Ma'u the tema also the sana archadu avalach, but over here tashmish l'chad. So I think you do not have a kinyan kamash according to this lashon that you yes have a kinyan on the chulsis, on the mesulam, etc. We continue with the next Mishnah, which again is the same theme, but now we move over to selling a Beis Abad, an olive press. Says the Mishnah, Machar Beis Abad, Machar Sayam. Someone sells an olive press. They sold the yam, the pool, Vesamamol, and the crusher, Vesabesulais, and the maidens literally. Avaloi Machar, but he has not sold Esoivirim, but he has not sold the boards, just like Galgal will show a picture in a minute, and the wheel, Vesakaira, or the beam. For a quick moment, let's just pull up a picture, courtesy of Art School. You see over here all the different parts of the olive press. You see the building, you see the boards, the crusher, the sideboards, and this is the olive press that our Mishnah is discussing all the different parts. And from there we go directly into the Gemara, teaches the Gemara Yam, and now the Gemara is going to define a little bit more what these terms are. Is tefilcha is the vat that you press the olives, Mamol, what is that? Amar mamol mafar chasa. What is that? That is the wooden poles on the side. Besulais, what is that? Amar Rav Yochanan klunsai shel erez. The besulais, excuse me, the mamol is the mortar. Excuse me, mafarachta is the mortar. The besulais is the cedar wood poles. Shemamidim bahenes hakayr. Those were the two side pieces that we saw. Evirim. What are the boards? Those are kavshi, those are the planks on top of the olives. Galgal, the wheel is chomrasa, that's the screw that we saw. Kaira, that is the kaira. And these are all the different items. Now this picture has a little bit more context. We see the avirim on the top, we see the galgal, the screw, we see the vesulais. These are the two side bars, and we see the kaira that pushes down the olives. And the Gemara continues, Tanu Rabbanan, if someone sells the olive press, teaches the brayso what is part of the sale, the blocks, and the vats, the mortars, the lower mill sign of but when he says, Benkach includes the brayso. In all cases, the boards, the cloth sack, and the leather sack are not sold. But again, Rav Eliezer comes along similar to the Mishnah, and he teaches us, Why? Because the kaira is what gives its name of the Beis HaBad. We continue with a similar theme, and now we're selling a bathhouse. It's the bottom Mishnah on Samach Zayin Amid Beis. A bathhouse, Lamachas and a Sarin. The boards, Vesasfalim, the basin, Vesabalanios, and the bathing different items. Concludes the Mishnah. The water reservoirs and the wood sheds for the wood, those are not sold in any scenario. We'll pick it up from the Gemara, B'siyata Dishmaya.